We are getting so close to New Year's right here, and of course, I got to bang on about quitting sugar, okay? And it's going to be tough. More than likely, it's going to be tough for some of you people that are going to be out there if you are partaking in this. So, what's the best way to go about this, okay? If you're fearful about, changing up your diet because you don't know how it's going to affect you or anything like that, just know that there's ways to wean yourself off of this stuff. Why people experience side effects when they quit sugar. Let's take a look. It might surprise you to learn that sugar consumption has actually been steadily decreasing since 2008. I don't know if that has anything to do, or maybe if that just kind of takes out 2020 in as a bit of a spoiler, as an outlier that was there. But I know the consumption of junk food and takeout definitely went up during that time. So I don't know, man. Maybe that doesn't take fully into account. This could be happening from any number of reasons, including a shift in taste and lifestyle with the popularity of low carbohydrate diets like keto increasing in the past decade. Greater understanding of the dangers of eating excess sugar on our health may also be driving this drop. Reducing sugar intake has clear health benefits. Yeah, exactly. Reduced calorie intake, which can help with weight loss and improved dental health. Dental plan. But people sometimes report side effects when they try eating less sugar. They, of course, always go away, but sometimes it can be pretty bad. Depends on your pain tolerance, I guess, including headaches, fatigue, or mood changes, which are usually temporary. More than likely, they're temporary. They're outside of a couple of outliers, like if you want to argue like a girl, but it's like, well, I know a friend who gave it. It's like, nobody cares, okay? 99.9% of people, all of those little sugar cravings that you have, they're going to be temporary, okay? After about 3 weeks of giving up sugar, you're not going to crave it anymore, okay? That's normally what I've seen across my practice. Me personally, like, it's been a hot minute since I've engaged in any sort of sugar behavior. That just comes straight out of any of the literature that I've seen. Carbohydrates come in several forms, including sugars, which can naturally occur in many foods, such as fructose in fruits, lactose in milk. Table sugar, known as sucrose, can be found in cane sugar, sugar beet, maple syrup, and even honey. Yeah, of course, honey. Oh, it's such a better sweetener that's out there. Kind of like what, agave syrup as well. It's like, bro, those are so high in sugar. I don't know why it's marketed as some sort of a substitute. Well, it's natural. Yeah. So's cancer. As mass production of food has become the norm, sucrose and other sugars are now added to foods to make them more palatable, of course, and more shelf stable as well. Beyond the improved taste and mouthfeel, of foods with high sugar content, sugar has profound biological effects on the brain. These effects are so significant, it's even led to a debate as to whether you can be addicted to sugar. Yes, addicted. No, this is still being studied. Talked about this a couple of times over the past year, and really does seem like it triggers the same places as like a cocaine addiction. So, you could just kind of draw parallels right there. The rewarding effects of dopamine are largely seen in the parts of the brain involved in pleasure and reward. Reward governs our behavior, and yes, when the consumption of sugar occurs, it triggers a reward-like response in those centers of the brain. There you go. Experiments on both animals and people have shown how profoundly sugar activates these reward pathways. Intense sweetness surpasses even cocaine in terms of internal rewards it triggers. Increasingly, sugar is able to activate these reward pathways in the brain, whether it's tasted in the mouth or injected into the bloodstream. Yo, people getting so addicted to sugar that they're shooting up. Holy, as shown in the studies in mice. Just mice, huh? This means its effects are independent of the sweet taste. So it's just sugar in general that's eliciting these responses. It's obvious that sugar can have a powerful effect on us, so why is it not surprising to see negative effects when we eat less sugar or remove it from our diet completely? It's during the early sugar withdrawal stage that both mental and physical symptoms have been reported, including depression, anxiety, brain fog, cravings, alongside headaches, fatigue, and dizziness. This means giving up sugar can feel unpleasant, both mentally and physically, which may might make it difficult. Sorry about that. For some to stick with the diet change, of course, because people are weak-willed. That's out there. We don't like weak-willed people, do we? The basis for these symptoms has not been extensively studied, but it's likely that they are linked to the reward pathways in the brain. I would also say that if somebody's consuming, all you need to do is just journal what you eat throughout the day, and try to pick it out at a macro level, analyze how much sugar you're eating, and then, yes, if you have a tough time quitting it, just taper off, okay? Like, especially, stop with the sodas, man. It's just sugar in a can. Stop it. Stop with those. Stop with your treats as well, okay? Start to taper off the sugar, okay? Taper it off like that instead of just quitting cold turkey if you're going to be getting headaches or you fear any of that type of stuff, okay? Taper it off instead of just dropping it right out the gate. Although the idea of sugar addiction is controversial, evidence in rats shows that, like other addictive substance, sugar is able to induce binging, cravings, and withdrawal anxiety. Other research in animals have demonstrated the effects of sugar addiction, withdrawal, and relapse are similar to those of drugs. But most of the research that exists in this area is on animals, so it's currently difficult to say whether it's the same for humans. The reward pathways in the human brain have remained unchanged by evolution. It's likely many other organisms have similar reward pathways in the brain. This means that the biological impacts of sugar withdrawal seen in animals are likely to occur to some degree in humans too, because their brains have similar reward pathways. Yeah, that's always why that there's tests on lab rats before there's human experimentation. Change in the brain's chemical balance is almost certainly behind the symptoms reported in humans to remove or reduce dietary sugar. As well as being involved in reward, dopamine also regulates hormonal control, nausea and vomiting, and anxiety. As sugar is removed from the diet, the rapid reduction in dopamine effects in the brain would likely interfere with normal function of many different brain pathways, explaining why people report these symptoms. Although research on sugar withdrawal in humans is limited, one study has provided evidence of withdrawal symptoms and increased sugar cravings after sugar was removed from the diets of overweight and obese adolescents. Yeah, they could also just have a bunch stored away in the form of body fat, given the fact that, yeah, overweight and obese as well. It's the only thing that they know, ergo just kind of circling back to the entire idea that it's, some sort of an addiction because of the triggered and patterned pathways in your brain being constantly triggered by, oh, it's time to eat, I'm going to be getting more sugar, so trying to break those habits. For somebody early in their life, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Speaking as a former fat guy, or, I guess fat kid, right? As with any dietary change, consistency is key. So if you want to reduce sugar from your diet long term, being able to get through the first few difficult weeks is crucial. All you need to do is just get through 3 of them. Get through 3 of them, your habit center in your brain is going to start registering what you're doing now consistently. And then also, that seems to be the drop-off point for most people where you don't even crave it anymore. It's basically one of those things that you could just kind of take or leave. And after you've gone through all of the problems and all of the issues associated with getting off of that train, you don't really want to hop on it afterwards. So, of course, your choice after all, but it's something you could aspire to in 2023. Your choice after all. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.